Hello and welcome to the incredibly influential and highly successful podcast. My name is Kael. I'm incredibly influential.
And my name is Maxwell, and I'm highly successful.
Today is Friday, the 5th of July. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Happy Cinco de Julio.
No, I think it's Cinco de Mayo.
Julio.
No, I'm pretty sure it's
Julio.
Mayo.
Julio. I think Mayo means May, and you said,
No, Mayo is what I put on a cheeseburger.
yeah, and the month is Julio.
No, that's ridiculous.
All
Does
right,
everybody-
well, if you're not going to be convinced of literal July in Spanish, then what are we arguing about?
everybody
Why don't we just
knows.
move on?
Well, everybody knows that Canada's birthday is first, and nobody gives a shit about it. And then 3 days later, America is born, and then the day after, Mexico was born. You know, because we all synchronized our birthdays. Everybody knows that. So you eat a fifth of mayonnaise, like a fifth of a jar of mayonnaise, on the Cinco de Mayo, which is today, the 5th of July.
Thanks for telling us all what you did today. You ate a fifth of a jar of mayonnaise? Is that what you did?
No, I did. I will say I want to point out that I kind of did things backwards. So last night, I
Oh, you ate the whole jar yesterday.
shut up, dude. Shut up. Don't judge me. Only God can judge me, and I'm God, so only I can judge myself. And I am not guilty. You're free to go. But so last night, instead of I have like weenies with like cheddar in them, and I made some mashed potatoes, right? But we didn't eat those last night. We went to Mexican food last night. We went to go get Mexican food last night for the 4th of July, and then tonight, or I guess this afternoon, I ate the weenies and the mashed potatoes. So I had my 4th of July dinner on the Cinco de Mayo, and I had my. I'm gonna keep this bit up. I'm gonna keep this bit going as long as I can. But yeah, so I did it backwards. I had my Cinco de Mayo dinner last night, and I had my 4th of July dinner today. It was pretty good. You ever had weenies with cheese in them? Do you like your weenies to have cheese? When you put a weenie in your mouth, do you like it to have cheese on it? Is that what you like? Your silence speaks volumes right now, Maxwell.
I'm sorry. I just thought you said that I was free to go.
No, I said to myself that I'm free to go. Because I was judging myself.
I see.
Yeah,
Well,
sorry.
don't be afraid to listen to yourself.
Well, I am free to go. You have to stay here. You have to stay here. I'm free to go. I can do whatever I want. You are my prisoner.
Then we're in agreement.
That you're my prisoner? I'm glad you've accepted your lot in life. Speaking of things you need to accept, this episode of The Acolyte was a lot worse. This is boring. But we almost got to see man ass in Star Wars. How do you feel about man ass in Star Wars, Maxwell?
Well, it hasn't happened yet.
We're approaching. We're getting there. You know, maybe if Leslie gets a season 2 of this show, we'll actually get to see man ass. But
you want to talk about the Acolyte in this newest episode?
I do.
All right, then let's talk about that instead
That's
of
what
your
we're talking
cheesy
about.
wieners.
I was talking about man ass. Yeah. Also, isn't it funny that May cut off all that hair, gave herself that fucking lightsaber haircut for nothing because Soul knew the whole time.
Well, I don't think he knew the whole time. I think he was slowly figuring it out, and there were all these little clues that helped him figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way she treated her droid, I think is the biggest one.
I think,
but
for
also
Nestra,
all these other ones. All
I
these are
think
the little clues. What?
yeah, I think Vernestra is still the Sith Lord.
Yeah, I think it's still Marok.
Maybe it's his mom. Maybe it's the mom. Is Kymir's master.
I I've seen like little clips of the show, and I think we are gonna get like an episode that's just mostly flashbacks.
We've already gotten one flashback thing, but
I
yeah, we need to
know.
get a
I
little bit
feel
more.
like, and I didn't like that.
I liked
I
it.
Yeah, I guess I think I didn't enjoy that episode as much as the other ones. But
Uh
I just didn't enjoy the kids. I think that's my one gripe. I think everything else and everyone else in that episode was fine.
that's fair.
But
I
but
yeah.
I just want to put that out there because like we even though we don't have the full season, we do have like little clips, and it's like there's a clip of the Wookiee Jedi Master fighting, but you know, she no not she he
He
is dead.
very dead.
So we are gonna have some form of
Flashback.
flashback to
I'm
see
okay with
that.
that.
Yeah,
I'm
I want to
perfectly
see
okay
a
with that.
Wookiee Jedi fight. I felt like I was being teased, not
Yeah.
getting that.
That was a little bit of a cock tease, I'm not gonna lie. Um
Yeah, is that where
I'm
you felt it?
yeah. Um uh I feel like the man ass was also a little bit of a cock tease, but I got the boys had some man ass in it, so I got my fix there, you know.
That that was
Yeah, Jack Quaid farting on a German chocolate cake was yeah.
Do we want to talk about that for just a moment?
We can if you'd like. Yeah. How do you feel about the boys thus far?
Well, I think I'm with this growing number of people that are talking about how off-putting and uh it's kind of selective, and how uh sexual assault is portrayed on the show. At least I don't know if it's thematically, but like with the choice and how the the theme and how that message is being sent across through the story, you know,
Uh,
because like you have a lot of selective choice as a showrunner for how you want these themes to be portrayed in your show, right?
yes.
And this episode was about a form of sexual assault against a man.
Yes. And they played it for jokes.
Yes. Yes,
And
he
when
did.
Starlight got assaulted, it was not.
It was not.
Yeah.
It was the pilot of the
Mhm.
series was being serious about how uh, unacceptable sexual assault is. And this episode was just like, just why?
They also kind of did that with
I'm really confused by, like, it was not how I thought that. I don't. I want to hear your thoughts, but I just want to finish.
I'll say that theme also goes back to season 1 as well. Um because Huey pretended to be a a one of Xavier's victims, and like they gave him a quippy little dialogue to be like, "You played my ass like a I forget what musical instrument he said, but you know,
Yeah, those were kind of like strange remarks. I mean, they kind of felt within uh at least they were like falling under uh a certain context of like this is something that is unsettling and discomforting.
yeah,
But I mean, it's just the way that these actors are talking about the scene in interviews too. It's it's like we should be more critical of this kind of behavior,
Well, all
especially
right.
when we're putting it out on popular media.
To be fair, to be fair, the showrunner uh is a man. Both creators of the original comic are men.
But
You
just
know,
because they're men doesn't mean that they can't have implicit bias about sexual assault
I,
when 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 a man is the victim. The victim.
I know. I get. I'm a strong advocate for like this, and I was a little off put by that. I mean, at the bare minimum, the framing of the scene is comedic, but Huey like absolutely like breaks down at the end, and like they do take it seriously there. But the
Yeah,
framing of the like actual scene itself
it's
is kind
just
of fucked.
it feels it feels unearned.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
That's that's my takeaway
Yeah.
from it. And I think that the show has potential to do something really strong with these messages, but they have to be called out when they fail to deliver on a
Yeah.
positive message.
I just want to see who directed this episode and like who wrote it. Because so the writer Anselm Richardson is a man. Um, who directed it though? Is the question. Boys season 4 episode 6 director. Um, why is nobody telling me who the director is? Um, can I have IMDb please? Google sucks now. Have you noticed that Google is just terrible now and does not work?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Like when you Google something now, it doesn't like work as well. Like it won't give you the things that you are asking for as often anymore. Like the way that it like reads keywords is just like wrong now. And it's just kind of yeah. Oh, here's the thing. All right. The director of this episode uh appears to be a woman. So maybe the director so it was written by a man, but it was directed by a woman. Where do you think the the blame was here? Do you think that maybe the writers kind of got this one wrong, or do you think maybe it was the directing that got that scene wrong?
I think they all share a responsibility when they share a project like that.
I could see the argument being made both ways. But I'm gonna personally lean on like I think it was the direction because I think the way it was written, uh, the way that it is on paper, you could get a huge variety of like deliveries in that scene, right? The way it's shot, the way it's the music is, the way like the actors deliver the lines. I think the way it was written could have been a lot more sinister than it was. So I think it might have been on the director. I think that's really interesting. Let's see who directed the pilot, and we'll see. Maybe the one who directed the pilot was also a woman, so that way, maybe they handled sexual assault of a woman differently. Now,
I don't
here's what's interesting.
I don't think that seems appropriate at all. Like, why are we using the gender of whoever is working on the show to determine who is more responsible than the other?
We're not saying
For
who's more responsible. I'm saying it's probably the director in no matter who, but I'm saying like maybe because she is a woman,
yeah,
she
that's
maybe
see, I cannot wrap my head around that. Like like I if you were talking about the certain position of work, like what their job was on the show, there could be a conversation, but even then, I feel like we have to really be looking at what their duties in that job were. But if we're talking just on gender alone to determine whether someone is more responsible than the other for how the show is
That's not what
portrayed,
I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
okay,
I'm
well,
saying,
why are we talking about it then?
well, let me finish. What I'm saying is maybe because she's a woman, she doesn't see the sexual assault of men the same as
See,
a
but
man would see that.
you just did what I'm
No, no.
talking about, what we
I'm
shouldn't do.
I'm saying I've already determined that it was the director's fault, no matter what. No matter what gender they are. I've already said it's the director's fault because the way the writer wrote it could be interpreted a multitude of different ways. It's a director who can really set the tone of that scene, who like plays the soundtrack, you know. They gave him like goofy 70s soundtrack to this like fucking like a rape scene. Like let's call it what it is. It's a rape scene, right? And
Well, it's sexual assault.
I mean that if we are splitting hairs on that, then that kind of leads to some pretty dark territory where
No, I think it's very simple because we need to have the same understanding of what those things are in order to have a conversation about this, or else we're not talking about these subjects appropriately.
if we're
Because
saying
this
that
is not a room or space where we're talking about that. If that's what this was about, then yes, we should talk about it. But I mean, like, we have to be very specific.
if we are splitting hairs of the definition of what is rape versus sexual assault, then we get to the point where people say men can't be raped because rape is when you penetrate someone with your penis. And that means that a woman can't rape a man, which is simply not true.
Well, I think, I I didn't say that.
I know.
I
I'm just saying I don't want to get
I'm
into
not
that.
I'm not even implicating that.
I know,
I
and
don't
I'm
know
saying I
why
just don't
you
want to
would.
go down that line.
Why would? Okay, well then let's not. Let's just say we're not doing that. Can we just agree on that and still be able to talk about specifically what this act is? Because then there's no semantics here. If we both agree that this is not an example of rape and it's an example of sexual assault, I'm not I'm not comfortable trying to say that this is something that it isn't.
Uh, she sat on his face. That's rape. That's rape.
No, you cannot just say
I
that when that's
can.
not what it is. No.
I absolutely can. And
No.
what if I was a victim? Are you
Well,
going to
you can't.
try and tell
I'm
me
saying
that?
you can't because it's not correct.
Are you going to correct again? What if I was a victim? Are you sure you want to go down this route? Because I don't. This is a comedy show. I'm trying to keep it light. But what if I was a victim and you're not, and you're trying to correct me on my semantics when maybe I've been through this and you haven't? That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, I
So
mean, I think that, like, you know, we have to be very specific about each thing we're talking about, because if we don't characterize it correctly for what it is, then we're not having an accurate conversation
what
about it.
did the Deep do to Starlight? Is that sexual assault or is that rape?
That's sexual assault.
I would call that rape. If you put me on a jury,
Okay.
I would convict him for rape.
Okay.
100%.
Well, I don't think you would be put on the jury if you told them that, because they would definitely ask you questions like, do you have any precognitions that might interfere with the ongoing trial? And that
Yes,
would
I have.
definitely be one, because you're conflating your own beliefs with what is being presented in front to you by the people who will be there.
It
explaining it to you
well, this is
because
taking place in New York. I'm pretty sure New York updated their legal definition. Again, I don't want to split hairs on this, but I'm pretty sure New York updated their legal definition to include, uh, like different things in this, to
I
where
mean also it's just like I don't think like the I I cannot. I really can't. I'm not I'm not in a right place to have such a heavy conversation, but I
you
just
brought
want to
it up.
say no, I
You
just
brought it up.
okay, but I don't feel comfortable going to a place where I have to explain this stuff to you in graphic detail
You
just to
don't need
prove
to.
it to you. But it's true, you know, this is not something that you can just like pick and choose when the label fits when you want to put it there. You know, there's a specific place where you use these terms, and like we have these specific terms to talk about them specifically. Like this, it's just, it's not right. It's not right to talk about these things and then, you know, not accurately
But either
talk about
way,
these things with the right context, because that's kind of like uh that's a failing on the people who, you know, experience this and understand this and, you know what is the difference.
but to my point is about this, is that the um because the director has not experienced, to my knowledge, has not experienced sexual assault or rape, whichever you want to call it, from the perspective of a man and all of the context that comes with that.
Yeah, I'm really curious how they test these shows with audiences, because you know, I feel like if you did enough, you would not get this kind of backlash from your community.
I haven't, I haven't been seeing that backlash. You're honestly the first person that I've seen since I watched the episode. Uh, I don't know if I think I watched it yesterday or maybe this morning. I don't know. All the days meld together. But you're the first person I've seen talking about that episode that has levied that criticism. Um, but I do agree and I do see your point, and I absolutely like. Yeah, it was
And
definitely shot different
and I
than
think that
Starlight's was.
like having a general confusion about how to appropriately and accurately talk about these actions is
Mm-hmm.
kind of a reflection on like how important it is to have these things portrayed in a way that is representative of the people who are hurt and
Yeah,
respectful and most importantly respectful of the people with those experiences. And I don't think this respected them at all.
that's fair. I what I will say is I don't know if this is if like this like differing attitude between men and women's like sexual assault. I don't know if this is like a toxic masculinity thing or almost like an anti-toxic masculinity thing, right? Because Garth Ennis, creator of The Boys, I don't know if you've ever read The Boys or any of his other work, but it's very obvious that he is a very toxically masculine person. And basically, I this point has been done to death about The Boys, but fucking it's edgy trench coat guys beating up superheroes because Garth Ennis hates superheroes and he hates happiness. He hates kids shit. He hates religion as well. That uh, and he's generally just kind of a miserable person. Um, so like that, it wouldn't surprise me. And there's kind of a scene like this in the comics where, um, spoilers, don't read them. They suck. the show is much better. Even if season 4 is the worst show, or is like the worst season of the show, it's still a million miles better than the Boys comic is. But there's a scene where Billy Butcher injects Huey with Compound V against his consent, and Billy just sort of fucking laughs at him, right? And like, even in the comics, Billy Butcher isn't like someone who we're supposed to like root for, but like you can kind of like, I can kind of see that attitude showing through into this episode and like this portrayal of Tech Knight, right? But I could also see like that maybe there's like this, like, there's a thing that I've seen in like ultra feminist circles where they will say that men can't be raped, not just because rape is like a penis going into someone, but like that they always want it. So I can absolutely see either, if you wanted to make either argument, I could be convinced of either one.
Okay, well, to my understanding of feminism, that does not make them feminists by having those opinions.
I mean, it depends,
No, I mean like that they are not, those are not feminists.
I think you can say that. I think there are like 20 different species of communists who will
I mean,
tell you that the other 19
like,
species aren't real communists.
Okay, but the reason I say that is because we can't misconstrued what feminism is and say that these people are extreme feminists when the definition of feminism doesn't really allow for a room for the kind of space that these people are creating to discriminate men.
I mean,
because it just like the ideology of feminism is that women deserve everything that men have.
I think
Because men are intrinsically born with this into a patriarchal system, right?
I think what you just said, you can take multiple definitions from that. Like, women deserve everything men have, as in equality, or women deserve everything men have, as in men should be subservient to women. And that's probably where those types of ultra radical they would consider themselves feminists. You might not consider them that, but at the end of the day, maybe who if they call themselves that and they preach themselves as being that, what do we say that doesn't
Well,
apply? How
then
often do we say that doesn't apply when more and more people are joining that side? Eventually, we're going to have to say that is a wing of feminism that we don't allow.
No, it's not, because we should be able to protect those definitions and statuses of those people and not have those things be misconstrued and revised in their definitions just because people feel a different way about it.
But is it not equality if instead of raising women up, they bring men down so that everyone's suffering the same? I think that's how they see it.
Well, I don't even think we have a space for that sort of concept to even be applied on such a large scale, because
I don't either, but they're certainly trying, and we can't pretend like they don't exist.
But I don't think that it's like, even though they might try to stir up that conversation, which is all hypothetical, it just does not seem to be it just doesn't seem to be a fitting subject, because It's like, well, if we are talking about this, then we're not really grounded in what we are talking about as it affects everyone's life.
I guess. I don't know. It's just the thing that weirds me the fuck out about this that I just can't shake. And, obviously we won't do the big red button for this because, this is a little too serious. But, like, what weirds me the fuck out about this is that like feminism is done so well on this show, right? Like they make fun of corporate bullshit feminism, and they do like real examples of like real feminism, like when Maeve, Starlight, and Kimiko beat the shit out of Stormfront. Sister Sage.
I mean, this show is also like a satire.
It is a satire, but like
So, there's also moments where the show parodies that other um
yeah, that
commonly
bullshit corporate, yeah,
y-
LGBT corporate feminism
yeah,
token virtue signaling.
the corporate perspective of feminism.
Virtue signaling woke bullshit. Yeah,
Yeah. But like I think that's exactly what um I don't know. I feel like that falls back in that conversation we were having about um the discussion of sexual assault
yeah.
earlier,
I
is that
That's what I was saying.
if it's something that is, you know, recontextualized, then uh it's going to cause that definition to lose its meaning more over time with how often it's being misrepresented. So it is our duty to be accurate for the sake of all the other instances and spaces where that's not being done.
Yeah, but it's just like the point, the larger point that I was making is like it's normally so good with feminism and like non-toxic masculinity because Huey is a baby back bitch. He do not do the fighting. Well, and but now he
Well, except
does.
for all the times he did, right? I
But
guess we can
now
just
he does. All
he
the
did it in
time.
the last season. Do you remember
He
that?
he did a little bit of it.
He
He
also he also is like the entire reason that they were able to catch Translucent in the first episode.
But he
So
does it
what?
through smarts. Butcher is beating the shit out of him with a baseball bat, but Huey puts a spark plug up his ass and takes him out immediately.
But how is that him not being in the fight?
He's not. It's showing that like you don't have to be like a big macho, super tough, super strong, masculine man to still like be a man. Huey's like
Right. So I that is something um I do appreciate that about this show, is that
yeah,
it has a very diverse uh portrayal of masculinity,
yeah, like
and that
Mother's
it's
Milk,
not.
like
Yes.
the biggest fucking toughest guy in the group, uh, is like super nurturing. Like he puts on the macho exterior, but like he's a loving father and a loving husband. And that's great. What I don't understand is they're so good at doing this nuanced grasp of like gender and toxic masculinity and all that sort of thing, right? Like all these like takedowns of toxic masculinity, like the character of fucking Soldier Boy. Oh my god, right? Like such a great fucking uh takedown of toxic masculinity because like he's like, I stormed Normandy, I'm a badass, and fucking Huey's like, you didn't storm shit, you were there a week later for a photo op, dude. And it's like they got it so great for the first 3 seasons, and then you brought up that fucking point, and I sort of noticed it myself, but I didn't like, it's like that Mr. Plinkett quote, like, you didn't notice it, but your brain did, you know? And so, like, now that you've, like, put it down in words, I'm like, yeah, this is really, like, kind of fucked up, and it's, like, a big step backwards on, like gender politics and, like, toxic masculinity and this sort of thing. They were better about it in the first 3 seasons. And so, yeah, you're right. This is a big misstep, and I think they probably should do better in the future. So I am glad that you raised that point. Thank you.
Yeah, and of course, our that's what this is all about. It's that, other people's perspectives help us improve our own. And
Mm-hmm.
we have to be, you know, we have to accept what people are talking about in order to uh find any way in reevaluating ourselves, or fully taking in uh someone's thoughts is important towards engaging with them fully.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have to share.
Yeah. I have one more thing that I wanted to point out. It's not related to like anything like sexual assault or anything. Um, I think another thing that I've noticed in this season that they didn't do as much in previous seasons is Amazon definitely noticed that the boys was making fun of them. Uh, they make fun of a lot of things. They were making fun of Marvel a lot. You know, they make fun of Disney and Marvel a lot. Um, but they were absolutely making fun of Amazon a fuck ton back in season 1 through 3, and now in this season, the writers have shifted it to making fun of Disney a lot more. Like Vought is now basically Disney instead of being Amazon and Disney and like other
Well,
shit.
the
It is
show
100% Disney.
the show also criticizes billionaires,
Yes,
and Amazon is owned by a billionaire.
yes, but it was much more implicitly and explicitly making fun of Amazon, and I don't think Amazon was able to take the fucking heat anymore. So they've transitioned into making fun of fucking Disney more. But there's one thing I want to bring up from the last episode, from the V54, V56, whatever it's called, um, Expo, right? Which is obviously a parody of D23. Fuck you. I'm a Disney shareholder. Suck my ass, Amazon. Fucking bitches. Disney didn't steal 5 hours of my PTO, you fucking cunts. Um, but do you remember the digital product placement thing?
What do you mean?
So in the V the A Train scene, like he goes up on the stage, he's talking about his movie. They talk about there's a new kind of digital product placement where if you're a white household, you'll see A Train handing someone a nice cold beer, but if you're a black household, you'll see him handing over a thing of peach cognac, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real thing that Amazon did, and they tried to get the boys to do that, and the showrunner Eric Kripke, he said no, and they made fun of them instead. But that's a real thing that fucking Amazon tried to do in the show, and it's a real thing that they're going to do in the future. We live in a fucking nightmare.
Wow. Well, I mean, good on the boys for uh openly criticizing that.
But
See,
they're
that's
not.
that's the thing, is that I feel like that builds into the argument that like they are that it's, Amazon is not a monolith.
Yeah, but it used to be a lot more critical of Amazon in the first 3 seasons. Season 1 and season 2 especially. But like now that it's like season 3 and season 4, it's been a lot more explicitly Disney, and I can't stand it. Fuck you, Amazon. Fuck you, Jeff Bezos. Suck my ass, you bald dick riding bitch. Fuck you. Ad
Yep.
break. This podcast is sponsored by Amanda Redwine, your no nonsense talk therapist and parent coach. Serving individuals and couples in both Illinois and Florida for counseling/therapy, as well as worldwide for parent coaching. Amanda's specialty is working with teens and young adults, as well as their family systems. Amanda has extensive experience working with youth who identify on the LGBTQIA+ spectrum. She has also done couples work based on a foundation of the Gottman method. She brings a light, no-nonsense approach to treatment that is approachable and empathetic. She is unflappable and makes her clients comfortable from the very beginning. Find out more at www.amandaredwine.com. That's AmandaRedwine.com. Thank you again for sponsoring this episode, and back to the show. All right, we're back. It's me and Danny. Maxwell's done his bit. We're here. We just, oh man, we we were talking before the recording. I was talking shit about a mutual friend we have, and I said something. I wish we were recording for this. we both just spent like a solid like 2 or 3 minutes laughing about how I managed to fuck this up. But basically, we were talking about someone who is uh who basically what I said was I was trying to make an analogy, and I said it's kind of like when you're talking to your mom. And then I stopped because I realized I fucked up because of who I was talking to, and we both just started busting out laughing. But the analogy I was going for is when you talk to your mom and you like tell her a joke, and then like she turns it into a lecture. So, but like I kind of picked the wrong person to tell that analogy to, so it was very funny. I'm sorry you guys missed the original version. You got oh man, that's one of the funniest things that's I think I've ever said to you. Fuck. Oh my god. Anyway, I'm sorry again, Danny. That was I'm sorry. You know, but hey, you at least hey, you can take a joke. You can take a joke. Unlike yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah.
You're not gonna name drop him now that we're recording.
No. No. Not publicly. That's fucked up. Why would I name names?
Yeah, we only talk trash behind closed doors out over here, you know.
Absolutely. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they listen to the podcast anyway, honestly.
To be honest, fair, you know, fair.
Fuck you. Shove it up your ass. This is the best podcast on the internet.
I've been on this podcast since episode 1. I don't think I've ever
That's
listened
not
to the
true.
podcast.
That's not true because you weren't on it for like almost 50 episodes.
Yes, but I'm saying even from whenever the podcast first started, when we started it together, I've never listened to an episode. Have you ever listened to an episode? Let's be honest here. Besides, like, you know, whenever you edit it.
Well, all right. Here's the thing, though. I've never not been in the room while we were recording. So, yes, I have listened to every episode because I've never not heard it. You know?
I suppose in a way that makes sense, right? Because, like, with me, there's parts that I haven't heard.
Yeah. Like, when it's like me and Maxwell or me and Kateryna or whatever, you know, you don't hear it. But, like, I have been in the room recording on my computer for every single episode of this show, bar none, right? So yes, I have listened to literally every single episode. Frankly, honestly, we could do worse. We could do better, but we could do worse. You know what I mean? It's not the worst podcast I've ever listened to.
Yeah, it's not the word. Well, actually, I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, so it might be just by small quantity that I listen to.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I only listen to 2 podcasts. If you count me listening to this podcast by being on it.
You know, fair. I think you've definitely listened to more of this podcast than I have listened to. I think any podcast, really. Yeah. Because my brother, and me, I've probably listened to maybe about, if I'm being generous, I'll say maybe about 20%. No, probably less. I've heard like a lot of like highlights on YouTube, and I've listened to I would say maybe like 10 episodes, 10, 12. I'll max out at like 20 episodes all the way through, and they have hundreds. So probably way less than 20%, but like yeah. And then
like, what other podcasts do you listen to, you would say?
So I listen to my brother, and me.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to The Adventure Zone.
Okay.
I listen to Cosmonaut Tabletop. Shout out Cosmonaut Tabletop, friends of the show. Shout out Satchel. We love you, Satchel. We should have Satchel back on. We should have Satchel back on one of these days.
It's crazy, right? Satchel was like in like my era.
Yeah.
And now I'm 17. Back, you know?
It's been almost 100 episodes since we've had Satchel on. That's kind of crazy.
We can get him back. Be like, hey, do you remember this trashy podcast? It's still going. Let's go.
I don't think he still listens to it anymore, sadly.
I don't think he does, but we can remind him that it still exists.
Yeah, that would be cool. Um, but yeah, friends of the show. Uh, I used to listen to The Worst Year of Our Lives, which had Scott Henson on. Rest in peace, buddy.
How many of those interviews did you do? I remember I listened to the first one. The
Two.
first one was really interesting, and then I don't remember many of the other ones.
Two.
You okay? So there was only one other one, so I missed the
Yeah.
second one. Then what was the
That
second
one's
one?
also interesting. I interviewed a bartender from fuck, what country was it? This was over a year ago. So what was it? Denmark. Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's
I thought that that series was a pretty good one. I think that's definitely one you gotta
bring back. Yeah.
get back going. I think that we should. I think it's a good idea to kind of introduce like different kind of styles and series and things like that to the podcast. Kind of mix it up. I like this new format we're doing right now.
I do too.
But
I think it's a successful experiment. I mean, I don't know about like the ratings or whatever, like the downloads so far, but like last month was our most successful month by far, like by a whole hell of a lot. And like I'm perfectly, if this is what people like, honestly, if they like the two half thing, honestly, I'm down for that. I'm down to continue it. I just want to um like make sure that like like this formula won't get stale, like I want to make sure that this doesn't get stale. I would like to have the three host thing, right? Like that's fun. Though that is some of the most fun I have during one of these shows is having three people on. But that is so hard to get scheduled because it's like herding cats. It's almost impossible. But I fucking love like the episodes, all the episodes where we had a guest. Scott again, rest in peace. Satchel. Um, when we had you and Maxwell on. When we had you and Jennifer on, those were fun. I like those. Um,
well, we probably won't get a sequel to that one.
I think that would be interesting. Dream guest on my podcast. Wow, I think I'd have to say one of my exes. If you get that reference, you're terminally online.
I don't get the reference.
It's JoJo Siwa. It's a meme going around making fun of her.
Siwa.
Yeah, it's a meme making fun of her because somebody asked her who the dream guest on her podcast would be, and yeah, and she answered in her fucking obnoxious little gremlin voice. I hate her.
I always thought that she was just not for me. I really don't know what she's up to or what she's doing, but every time I see her in anything, I'm just like, it's not for me. I'm sure there's some people that like her, but I just can't get behind it.
She made a song that has the words "effed around" in it, and she said she was scared of cussing, but she's trying to be like a bad girl now, and it's fucking hilarious.
It's
It's super
crazy
inauthentic.
because like I feel like her brand's always been like super child friendly.
I mean, literally the line is, "Karma's a bitch. I guess I should have known better. If I had a wish, I would have never effed around."
But
It's
she said
so fucking
bitch.
silly. Yeah, exactly. She can say bitch, but she can't say fuck.
Yeah, I feel like that's a little strange.
Fucking. That's all she is. She's a fucking. She grew up on fucking Dance Moms, and then she fucking went to Nickelodeon, and now she's trying to be a bad girl. She literally has said that she wants to be Miley Cyrus from fucking 2013, 2014. And that's fucking. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to be that? That's dumb. That's stupid. Don't do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure she'll figure it out, but I'm not Not too worried about it.
You know, I don't know. She'll never not be cringe to me. So
My
just
phone
embrace it
is
and keep being kid friendly forever, JoJo. Nobody
my
cares.
my phone is saying that I might have a huge storm coming my way, so that's exciting.
Oh yeah, Hurricane Barrel. I was gonna ask if you're prepared for that.
Um, my portable battery, I believe, is fully charged. So my
Do you
phone,
have your glizzy?
uh, yeah, man.
He's packing heat, ladies and gentlemen.
Oof, yeah, man. Don't even try,
He'll
'cause
just go out into the storm and he'll just fucking shoot the clouds and it'll go away.
that's right, America,
That's the
Texas.
plan.
Don't
That's the
forget
plan,
it.
baby. Hell yeah.
Speaking about shooting things, are you still coming down, you think?
I don't think so. This
Ah, that's too
yeah.
bad.
There's some family shit going on for my stepmom.
You don't want to
So
drive into the heart of the hurricane.
no, actually I wouldn't, and I would even less like to fly into it if it's all the same to you.
Ah, damn, that's too bad. You're gonna miss it.
I also don't like the Houston airport. It sucks.
I've only been to the Houston airport a handful of times. How many times have you been to the Houston airport?
Once, sorry, twice, in and out, but you know, once was enough for me.
It's not that bad. I don't know. What did you not like about it?
Uh, it was like I flew in and like somewhat late in the evening, and it was still like pretty fucking like packed, and like the rideshare thing was really difficult to coordinate, and really didn't like that. So next time I'm gonna make you pick me up.
Well, if they park the plane in like the D section or the E section, that's usually where it's like really far away from everything.
I'm
Because you
gonna
got to get
show
back
you
to.
my D section here in a minute.
Because I remember I came in on my plane from New York,
Yeah, I bet you came in that plane.
and they parked the plane at like the very end of the airport where it was still like partially like being renovated.
Mm-hmm.
So like it was like a little confusing to try to get back to section A, which is where all the parking was at, or all the pickup was at.
I
So I had
mean, yeah,
to
it's
take.
just, but the pickup section is fucking ridiculous because Houston is a big fucking city. It's O'Hare's bigger, so but like
It's
even
not that
that's
bad.
I don't know. O'Hare has like it has its own issues. I do with fucking O'Hare is uh I go to the fucking hotel in the middle and like they can come in and like get into there. Or no, better yet, what I'll do is I will tell people to go over to the pre-flight airport parking, even if I'm not parked there. I always park with them if I do go fly out of O'Hare. This is not sponsored, by the way, but like I always, even if I like didn't bring my car, I would still tell them to like take the pre-flight shuttle back to pre-flight parking, and then like hop off and like just like get out of there because there's like a gas station that's like right next to it, and it's like off the beaten path, you know, and the shuttle's free, so it's like, it's great. So yeah, that's what I do. So that's a flight hack for your fucking next trip to O'Hare is do that.
Okay, well, I don't know the next time I'm gonna go to O'Hare, but hopefully I remember. But yeah, man, if you ever come to Houston, I'll definitely pick you up from the airport. You just gotta make your way over to the pickup area in time. That
I
way I'm
mean,
not
you
doing
didn't last
circles.
time. You didn't last time, but there was kind of extenuating circumstances for that one.
Oh, that was the last time you went to the Houston. I don't know why. I know you were here, but it didn't occur to me that you came through that airport until just now.
I had to get Ubers from your fucking house because you couldn't drive me, and and Jennifer wouldn't drive me either.
How
Do you
could
not
she? You know
remember
what I
that?
mean? Like that's the least you could have done. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I don't know. She has her own issues, so
I'm still having car trouble, you know. If I had that car back, you know, it was in perfect condition. I'm pretty
I
sure
mean,
it
it's
was
not
still.
anymore.
I'm sure like it was still in driving condition. You know what I mean? You know,
I mean, to put.
like
Do you want me to say?
the damage that happened to the car. You know, like the exterior of the car was like very very minor. You know what I mean? And everything, the condition of the car before that little incident was like perfect.
I
You
love how
know,
you describe it as that little incident. And what
you
I
know.
was gonna say is, it depends where the bullets landed.
Well, like I said, the exterior of the car, you know, and the functionality of the car, top notch, top notch. Let me
Did
tell you,
it?
maybe just a tiny bit of like, you know, cosmetic damage to the car, but I think that it was very fixable.
I don't want to
Now,
go into like details of like.
as for the as for the other parts of the car, you know, I can't speak to that, but I was told it was beyond saving, so we should just get rid of it. So we did.
Yeah, yeah,
But
that's yeah.
you know, it's just very sad to think about how that car was like nothing wrong with it, and then it was gone all of a sudden, just all at once.
Yeah, yeah. The car gone. all of a sudden, all at once. Yeah, the car. You're you
Yeah,
know.
all at once. Yeah, and then now I have this crappy car. Now it's giving me problems.
Yeah.
And now it's getting to the point where I'm thinking, man, you know, is it even worth it to fix up this car? Maybe I should just get another car. But I just don't want to be spending money on cars every time, man, because I got bought that first car.
What do you mean every time? Do you foresee this happening again in the
W-
near future?
Well, no, I'm just saying like every time I have a problem with a car, I don't want to buy a new car, you know? Cuz like with the first car I had, you know, I had some bad company come along with me whenever I purchased that car,
Mm-hmm.
and they weren't able to like scout out the problems, which is kind of the only point that I brought them. So kind of a fail on their part there.
Yeah,
But they don't have to carry that L. You know, I have to carry that L, sadly.
that's true.
Uh,
That's
you
true.
know, and then I bought the second car, perfect, top-notch car, no problems at all. You know, and then that one obviously, you know, went away. So now we're back to car one, which is the one that had all the problems in the first place.
Mm-hmm. I
And we're
mean, yeah,
trying
that.
our best to make it work, but let me tell you, it's like every time I take it to get fixed, they're just like, all right, here's like 15 more things you gotta fix. And then every time they give me that, you know, the recommended parts list, like the number just gets more expensive. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not liking that. And I was talking to my grandma earlier because and that's why I was telling, that's where I told you I was at a little earlier, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was telling her, I was like, you know what? If I have to get another car, I want to get a car that's like nice. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that way I don't have any problems with it. But also, I was thinking I want to get a truck. That's what I'm thinking.
Uh, I don't know. Can you financially afford a truck and also the fucking gasoline cost that comes with that?
Um, Gas is not that bad over here.
Gas is actually at a historic low over the 4th of July. Historic low.
Well, I would say like compared to like the gas prices that you tell me you have over there, my gas has always been low.
Florida has almost as bad of gas prices as where I live in Illinois, which is fucking insane to me.
How much is gas over there? If you had to,
Oh fuck, I know we must have driven past a fucking gas station on the way there and I just didn't pay attention. I think it was so obviously so I got really bad sunburn on Sunday. So I've mostly been inside this week and then like there's been a lot of family stuff since Thursday of last week. And that's only going to get worse. So mostly I've just been like dog sitting and not leaving the house. But last I saw, I think it was like 349.99 here per gallon. And yeah, it was pretty bad. And it was like I think I got it at like 342 before I left Illinois. I filled up in town right before I left. And yeah. and it was like 330, 349, 339, something like that. Yeah, it apparently it was historically low on the 4th of July, but I didn't go out and see it. I was in the house. Or no. I went to go get Mexican and I just wasn't paying attention. That's cool. I almost never pay attention anymore.
I do think I'd be able to afford gas. Plus, that car, that one that I told you
Yeah.
that was pretty much perfect.
Is it a gas guzzler?
No, that one we're selling, so I should get
Mm-hmm.
money from that. Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because
That's true.
like I said, like the car is in perfect working condition, pretty much, except for some minor things that need to be fixed. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
But
know,
that's
but
expensive to clean. That sort of stuff is expensive to clean. I think you're losing a lot of value on
well,
that
I
car.
I will tell you, I'm not the one handling the cleaning. So I suppose it's up to my uncles whether or not they're gonna pass that down to me because they didn't tell me how much it cost to clean. They just
Mm-hmm.
kind of cleaned it. So if they never charge me for it, then I just that's not a cost that I got to deal with.
I mean, you've got a pretty tight family. I imagine, like, if they handled the cleaning, I would hope they wouldn't like pass it down to you. And I think they would know like the kind of situation you're in. I imagine they probably covered that for you. But like even then, I doesn't something like that show up on the Carfax report?
Now here's the thing. I don't know entirely how this would affect the car price because in theory, hear me out here, the car like works perfectly, right?
Yeah.
So on from just a purely technical standpoint, you would think, okay, well the car works perfectly fine, it should be fine, to sell. But I don't know about like the moral implications or like, like the I guess external factors like this that how they affect
Mm-hmm.
car prices. So I don't know. I'm hoping that whenever my uncle finally secures a sale and figures that all out, we have a decent amount to work with. Um
I have a point here. What if you leaned into that, right? Like
well,
what if you tried to sell to someone who was interested in it for that reason?
I will say I'm not the one selling the car. But it's a whatever however he wants to do it, I suppose.
Uh-huh.
He could do that, I guess. Some people probably, wouldn't mind or would be interested in something like that.
Like
So I don't know.
do you think here's the question, right? Sorry, I'm yawning like a motherfucker. I'm tired. I'm dog tired, boss. Um but like do you think it would be worth it to cuz like you have to choose one or the other. Do you cover up the grisly details about what happened in that car or do you say, "Hey, fucking somebody died in this car," and lean into it and you're like, yeah, hell yeah, murder car, haunted ghost. Do you lean
Um,
into that?
Again, that's my uncle. But so I have a lot of money saved up. I've been working for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been able to save a ton because right now I'm covering the portion of bills that I wasn't covering before.
Mm-hmm.
Also, my brother is out of work, so
We're gonna fix that soon,
he's
inshallah.
he is racking up lots of IOUs from me. Let me tell you that.
Hey,
Um,
when you collect on that shit, it's gonna be fucking sweet though. You write that
yeah,
shit down and you be like, here's every single time I helped you. Here's every single dollar amount that I did for you. Here's every single thing I've done for you. And when you come to collect, it's going to be absolutely fucking biblical. It's going to be great. I love that shit. I hold
yeah.
that over everyone.
Well, it's not like he's like asking for like money, but at the same time, like he can't really afford to pay for certain bills, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
go, so like right now, I'm paying for his phone bill, but I'm just kind of like writing down how much he owes me that way he can get that back to me later. And I'm also paying for the internet entirely when we're trying to split it. So I'm just writing down half of how much the internet is and just writing that down for him. I think those are the only. Oh no, and car insurance because he's his car insurance as well. So I'm paying for his car insurance, his phone, and I'm paying for his half of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever he finally does get a job, he can work on kind of catching up on those.
You should have it be like every time he cranks his hog, he has to put $1 in the jar to
I don't,
help pay for the internet.
mm, I don't think that's necessary, but like I said, whenever we get him a job, he should be good. My cousin was talking to him and thinking about getting him a job where he works. He works for SafeLight.
Safe light repairs, safe light replace.
That's the one.
Hell yeah.
And he just fixes like windshields.
Windshields. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And he makes a lot of money. He apparently there's like a program where after you work for a full year, like doing the training and all that, you have the opportunity to do like where you travel to different cities that I guess need the extra help,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll pay you more money for that. So what he does is he'll go to like a different city and he'll just chill there for a couple weeks, helping out that location, and then he'll come back home, go to
Do
a
they
different
like pay
position.
for your hotel and shit like that?
Yeah, they pay for all of it. That's why I'm saying like
That's fucking cool, actually.
he's getting to kind of just roam around to different places, and he gets paid lots of money to do it.
Is this
And
the cool cousin?
yeah, this is the one I think we went to Ojos Locos with.
Hell yeah, my man. We need
My
to,
man.
we need to go back and do a rematch. Ireland versus Mexico again.
I went over to where he lives just last weekend.
And you went
That's
to their Ojos Locos?
no. They live up in Fort Worth, which is a little bit more like out in the country. Everything's a little bit more spread apart, right? Up there. So they had like their house, and they had like a decently sized like yard and all that. But they took me to like this kind of hole in the wall like bars, and everybody there knew his name. He was like, everyone was like, "Hey, what's up?" As soon as he walked in, right?
Uh-huh.
And he took us there, and we played a pool tournament. And
Did Dylan win?
no, we all did decent, but the people that are there like every day, they won.
That's fair. That's
The
fair.
way
I
that
was
it
literally
works,
just about to say, Dylan's pretty good at shooting snooker. He could, enter a tournament. But I don't know if he's that
well,
good, boss.
we did do pretty good. The way it worked is that it was a double elimination, right? So if you can lose your first game, but if you lose the second game, then you're out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I played 4 games. I lost my first one, and then I won the next two, and then I lost the fourth one. I think Dylan got really unlucky, and he lost the first one too because they put him against like one of the really good people in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of us lost in the first round because it was all just us against people that were like really good because they just are always there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I played 4 games. I got decently far. I had a lot of close games. I beat Caleb, and Caleb beat Dylan. Therefore, I'm the best pool player, right?
I don't think that's true.
No, no,
I
no, no.
think Caleb and Dylan would fucking come all over your face.
No, 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 no. Look, Caleb beat Dylan first, and then I said, "Hey, Caleb, let's you and me play." And then I beat Caleb, and since Caleb beat Dylan, I therefore by proxy beat Dylan as well.
Okay,
And whenever I beat Caleb, right?
that's not how that works. The White Sox won a game a couple of weeks ago. Um, that doesn't make them, better than every team that team has ever beaten. they're still the worst team in baseball right now. Fucking doesn't make them, uh, like,
No,
yeah.
but you see where the logic is though.
I don't, because look at your total win-loss record. Okay?
I don't know my total win-loss record. We've played for years.
And I bet Dylan and Caleb have been smoking you this whole
First of
time.
all, me and Caleb, I would say, are about even in skill.
I
Like
don't know about that.
Dylan is better than both of us, but me and Caleb are about even in skill. Thing is, you don't see me play pool as much as they do because they're more into it. But I used to be really into pool, and I kind of just don't play it as much now. That's why I would say I'm like second to Dylan, but Caleb's probably tied for second.
I don't know. I think all I'm
I,
saying is
I
if
will
you
say
guys,
Andreas is probably worse than me and Caleb though.
that's probably true. All I'm saying is if you guys if you guys move into an apartment, you, Dylan, and Monica, if you don't move into an apartment that has room for a pool table, I think at least one of you will go insane and kill the other in a blind rage because you will have no way to like settle arguments. You'll just have to play fucking 8-ball on your phones, except you don't have a fucking iPhone because you insist on buying the fucking Google Pixel fucking 69 fucking still can't take a proper fucking photo piece of shit bullshit.
Well, okay. So, whenever I got this phone a while ago, right? We got it
Mm-hmm.
through one of those Verizon deals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where Verizon will pay for it, and you just pay, whatever the difference is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the way that Verizon pays for it is they pay for it in parts over a long time. So whenever I took over the phone bill, because I had never really seen the phone bill because
Yeah.
I didn't have access to it. Whenever I saw
Yeah.
the phone bill, I saw that I still had a lot more months of payments before I'm paid off with this phone. So if I want to get a new phone, I would have to pay off this phone. And if I wanted to pay it off right now, I'd have to pay a lot larger of an amount. Because like right now, if I paid it off, it would be a couple $100 versus if I waited until the end of the term, it'd be like $40. You
Yeah,
see?
that's true, but
Granted,
you're still not gonna get an iPhone
the
because
term
you suck.
is about another 16 months, I think, or like 12 months, something like that. So it's still going to be a while. But after those 12 months, if I want a new phone, then this one will be fully paid off.
There's
And
something blue on my thumbnail. I don't know what's going
and
on.
you know what I could do then, right?
That's weird.
I could trade in this phone for another phone.
Which won't be an iPhone because you suck and you have bad taste. Anywho,
Realistically, I do think that whenever I move out of this house, what I'll do is I will take my grandfather's phone off the plan, and then I will try to, I guess, switch to a cheaper provider. Um, my mom was using Mint. I don't know how much she liked it, but that's what she was using.
uh,
I don't know how
I
good Mint is, but I heard it's pretty cheap.
so yeah, I think it is cheap. I don't know. Whenever they say like, whenever they try and switch to a fucking thing where it's like, we use all the other fucking cell towers and shit like that, right? Like we use
Mhm.
the other guy's cell towers, right? I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to definitely research it. The only reason I don't want to switch right now off of Verizon is because while I live here, his phone is also on here, right? But once
Yeah.
I leave, I'm gonna take his phone off,
Uh
and
huh.
then he'll have to figure that out on his own. And I won't
That's
be
fair.
around for him to bother about it. You know,
That's very true. That's very true.
what's he gonna do? Call me? He doesn't have a phone.
Exactly. You're right. You got it. You fucking got it in one, buddy. I'm proud of you.
Exactly. He won't have my
That's
address, and his phone won't work.
that's true. That's true. You know, uh, you've got it all figured out. Speaking of things that
Mhm.
we need to
Mhm.
figure out, are you ready for a big red button?
I don't know if I've ever been more ready.
Okay. This one's a fucking doozy. Are you ready for this?
I'm a little worried now, but let's go.
All right. You only have to poop once a week, but when you do, you have to empty your entire large intestine in one session.
Well, here's the thing, Nick, right?
Uh-huh.
I just don't think that using the restroom, pooping, is that much of an inconvenience for me to really care
I'm
about getting rid of it. You know what I mean?
okay. I'm gonna bring something up here. I'm gonna hit you with some numbers, okay?
Okay.
Whenever you get like distracted at like work, right? If you're like working on something, if you're working on a paper, right, or a project, and you like pull up your phone or something, or like get distracted, get up and do something else, it takes you 30 minutes to get back into the focus that you had, right? So getting up to poop, I don't know how often you do that. Maybe like 3 times a day, twice a day, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. I don't know. Like you gotta think about it here, right? You only gotta poop once a week, but you gotta evacuate 8 feet. Your large intestine is 8 feet long. It's pretty long. I don't know how you feel about that.
I think that I'd probably not press the button. I just don't think that it's as much of a benefit to really support the downside, I get that it's only one time a week, but still, I feel like I'm not gonna be looking forward to that every week.
I don't know. I think you block out about 6 to 8 hours.
Six to eight. I feel like all the poops that I have in 1 week don't take that long.
I don't know.
I feel like it sounds like it'd be longer to take this one than it would be to take a week's worth. Because how long are you in the restroom? Like, I know that.
Are you a man?
I will tell you this, right? I go to work, right?
Yeah.
And people at work, they stay in the restroom for probably way longer than they need to.
Oh yeah,
Unless
that's the Amazon classic. Yeah. You're right.
you know
You're
that.
right.
And let me tell you, like, our bathroom situation over there at Amazon is not great sometimes. Sometimes I'm running around the entire building trying to find an open stall because
Oh
every
my
single one is taken.
Oh my god. Yeah. People on the internet used to think that like Amazon doesn't let you take bathroom breaks. Yeah, they fucking do. That's the problem. Nothing gets fucking done because it's nothing but bathroom breaks, man.
No,
Oh my god.
look, I get it. I get why. I understand that. It's just that sometimes I feel like people overdo it a little bit.
Oh
Like,
no,
I get
I
it.
know people who were absolutely like they wanted to get out of their shift early, so like 20 minutes before they had to clock out, they would go in there. And
Exactly. That's too much. I'm thinking, sure. You need a couple minutes to use the restroom, right? At very most, I feel like 10 minutes. That's already too long, but that's like long enough to where like you could be like, okay, sure, 10 minutes, right? But anything longer than 10 minutes, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, like there's no way unless you have like serious like bowel movement problems that you're going to be in there for 10 minutes. Like what's going on?
I mean, it's the fucking. You're a man. You are a man. I don't know. Maybe you don't live with enough women. Maybe you forget what it's like having a girlfriend.
What do you mean?
But that fucking going in there for just like 15 minutes and just decompressing, reading a book, watching a video, you know, just living. Silence. It's a beautiful thing.
Okay, well,
And again, I'm including all the 30 minutes it takes to get you back in the swing of the thing you've lost focus on because you went to go take a shit. Right?
sure.
So I'm with all the times that you do that, let's say you poop fucking 2 times a day, I think that's what, like, a reasonable amount, right? Do you think so?
1 to twice.
Yeah. 2 times a day, every week, or 2 times a day, every day for a week. If you are in the middle of something for one of those, maybe you go right when you wake up or right when you're about to go to bed or something, right? You're not really doing anything, so you don't lose any progress. So we'll only say of the 2 times you go per day, you only are like in the middle of something one time, right? So if you
Mm-hmm.
are doing your thing and you're like, oh shit, literally, and you get up to go get, drop a log off at the lumber mill, right? Drop the kids off
Mm-hmm.
at the pool. Fucking, you come back. It takes you 30 minutes to get back in the swing of things, right? Think about this. You never have to take that second poop or that first poop, really. So you get another 30 minutes. You just have to go tinkle when you wake up because you still got to pee as normal. But
I will say that like 90% of like my bathroom time is just number one because I just drink a lot of water. So
and
I'm
that's
just
that's probably
constantly going
healthy.
to the restroom, right? Like so the
Would you do
pooping
it if
the
I switched
pooping
it?
isn't the problem. What would I do if I switched it?
Yeah, you only had to pee once a week. But when you have to pee like literal gallons.
Like
Like,
well,
I don't know how many times you pee per day. I don't know.
okay.
I'll say like 5 times.
Well, okay, hear me out, right?
Yeah. It's
I feel
21
like
seconds on average. For every mammal, by the way. Did you know that?
I will tell you I do like this one a lot more. And here's why. And here's why.
Mm-hmm.
There is one thing that I need to clarify here.
Mm-hmm.
So if this was the case, right? We did that once a week, right?
Yes.
I think I would need it to be to where like my external body isn't going to like change because I have like gallons and gallons and gallons of pee inside of me. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah. It gets stored in like some alternate dimension, right?
Okay, as long as it's like in some alternate dimension, I feel like that's fine, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh my
But
god.
yeah,
That
I would
feeling when
just
you like wake up and you drank a lot of water the night before.
yeah.
Oh man. Man. And sometimes you get like morning wood too, and then you try to pee but like you can't, and you can't get the pressure going because it's still in the morning. Oh my god. Dude, fuck. And like your stomach will still hurt afterwards because you've like stretched your fucking bladder so much. Man, that shit fucking blows, dude. That's, yeah, fuck. And also the 30-minute thing in theory would apply even more because if you're like pulling up your phone even to just like answer a text, that still kind of breaks you out of your focus and you still need 30 minutes to get back in the swing of things. Going pee takes you got to get up, you got to go to your bathroom, right? Got to, pull the trousers out, get the trouser snake out, pull your pants all the way down, pull your shirt all the way up. Uh, I'm bringing it back, baby. Any excuse to bring it back, I'm bringing it back.
The callback, the callback.
Always butter style, baby. But like you gotta do that. You gotta get it ready. You gotta it's a process, and you gotta let the trouser snake out. And then 21 seconds on average for every mammal, by the way, from elephant down to dormouse. 21 seconds on average to tinkle
hmm
for every single mammal. It's crazy. Um, but like, yeah. So 21 seconds. Then you let your shirt back down, pull your pants back up. Get everything back together. Um, you technically you don't have to wash your hands with this method because you're just aiming. You're just free aiming, right? You don't even have to touch your dick. But I mean, you touch
Yeah.
the toilet handle, so you still gotta wash your hands. You wash your hands.
hmm
You sing "Happy Birthday" twice, just like you're brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
Um, and when you're back again, the 30-minute thing, right? And you're peeing a lot more than you're pooping. So I would say the peeing thing would be better, but the pooping thing is just more feasible because of just like your body. But also, yeah.
I like the peeing one. I feel like for the peeing one, I would probably do it. For the pooping one, probably not. I feel like I don't poop enough for it to be beneficial enough. But the peeing thing, I could see. I could see that. You know, I
Mhm.
just
I don't know.
Just-
I feel like the
and it's even better if I'm at work, because then I could just waste tons of time in the bathroom.
I
There's never a line for a urinal, but there's always a line for a stall.
I mean, I feel like if you know if
You
you
know,
wanted to like create an industry, well, I mean, you probably couldn't create an industry because I think you're selling like medical waste, which I think is illegal. I don't know. Is the bathwater thing illegal? If you wanted to sell your own piss, is that illegal? Somebody look that
like,
up. Somebody look that up for me.
well,
need to
I
know.
don't know. I'm sure, like, I've seen people do things like that before. I don't know, like, the legality of it, but
I know you can't ship it. I know you can't ship it to people, but can you like sell it? I don't know. But like if you needed piss, you could fill up multiple gallon jars while you're, doing that
but
on your
who
weekly
would
piss session.
who needs piss though is the problem. You know,
Who
I feel like
doesn't need piss? That's the
I
real
I
question.
feel like it's a problem that I'm that nobody needs.
If you
Nobody
can't come up
has.
with a use for it, then you're not thinking hard enough, buddy.
I don't know. I don't know what you
I'm
want.
sure chemically you could like somehow figure out how to gain power from piss. Maybe if you oh my god, no. I'm thinking about it here, right? Let me cook before we
Okay, all right.
before we end the episode here. Or end this part of the episode because then I gotta go talk with Kat. Um well, not tonight, but like, it'll be seamless for you, but not seamless for me. But like maybe you could like piss on like a wheel and like and you're going
You
at
know
it for
what?
like
That's
an
crazy.
hour.
I actually thought about the exact same thing.
Right?
I was thinking about getting like a
Dude.
urinal, right? And the urinal
Right.
like funnels into like a hydro generator.
Like honestly, why not? Right? Like if
You
it's
know,
gonna do that, hydroelectric, but
once a
piss
week you could charge
electric.
your phone 5%. Let's go.
Fuck yeah, dude. Dude, that's a win in my book, baby. Renewable energy, dude.
Like
Renewable energy.
5% for a week's worth of piss does not seem like a good return though.
You gotta get the piss out somehow. And if it's gonna come, top to bottom, it's gonna have gravity. And that gravity is going to help power something. It's not gonna be much.
It's Doctor
You're
Who
gonna-
Dong Watch
you're-
time.
I'm gonna keep
Cat's
it real.
back.
You're probably gonna lose most of that
I know it's
energy
been 2 weeks.
the first law of thermodynamics. But
Blame her, not me.
it's renewable
not
energy
my
all the same,
Blame
baby.
Kael. It's not my
That's
fault.
that's what you
I
got.
already
there,
told
you
them
know?
why.
Give me what you
Mhm.
got for a
Last
pork
episodes,
chop.
you can't.
That's
Well, you don't
that's
even know
something.
why,
at
so
least.
whatever you came up with was a lie.
You gotta find.
I do. You
the
told
silver
me
lining.
you were going
except,
on a road trip.
it's
I'm not
more
stupid.
like
I did not go
it's more
on
of a
road trip.
golden
What are you
color.
talking about?
If I'm really
I can
dehydrated.
send
Yeah,
you
the
Discord
golden
messages if you'd
lining.
like.
Yeah.
I can
The
do
gold.
For
that.
you, but I drink a lot of
not-
water.
It's
Mr.
not. No,
Master-
I mean
Mr.
honestly, I'm
Master
feeling a
of
little
fucking,
dehydrated right now, but that's
of,
just because I've been talking for
Inspect
like an
Element
hour.
over here.
But anywho, fucking.
I mean,
we gotta go. We gotta go. This is
believe
getting
what
too
you
long.
want, but
If this episode
I already
gets too
said it
long, I
last
can't get
week, and I'm
RSS to
sticking to my
upload
story,
it to
so
YouTube for
it's-
me.
you
So
know.
All right, guys, let's
you
stay
are
here
sticking
for
to
another
your story.
20
shut up,
minutes.
shut up. We're ending the
And,
episode.
you know,
I'm talking
Sticking
to
to nothing
Cat.
but
Doctor Who
facts.
Dong Watch coming soon. Goodbye.
I mean, you can try. So what happened last week? Big fat load or nothing really.
Last week was incredible.
Kristen Cole got a shitty haircut, an even shittier haircut
Yeah, that
than he
wasn't
already
good.
had.
But I
Yeah.
get it. He's going to war.
Uh,
Kael, who cares? Let's talk about this week.
no, we got to talk about last week because we need to talk
Okay,
about last week because you weren't here.
I only remember exactly like what happened in this episode. I don't remember exactly what happened in every episode. I have, like, in my brain, I have this week and then previous weeks. I don't have 1, 2, 3, 4.
Bayla
had to
tried to
clarify more.
kill what's his name. That was pretty cool.
Kristen, yeah.
And Gwen.
You know, yeah. Her dragon is very fast. They had that had been mentioned a couple times in the histories that her dragon was quite
Quite what?
it was quick. Sorry, I must have cut out.
Yeah, you muted yourself a little too early. Anywho, fucking, I'm pissed. You know why I'm pissed? Do you know why I'm pissed? Well, last week, Damon claimed Harrenhal. The Brackens, the Blackwoods fought. Damon is getting drugged. He's having dreams of Millie Alcock.
Mm-hmm.
Aegon made fun of Cyclops because he was banging a MILF.
Yep.
And then Rhaenyra tried to talk to Alicent.
Oh yes, and we met. That was the big thing. But of course, in that same bar scene, we met Ulf the White. Claims to be half Targaryen, a bastard. Is this true? Who can say?
Can you light him on fire? And like, can't you just test that? Just like light him on fire?
Well, not all Targaryens are fireproof, as we saw in the most recent episode.
Yeah, all right, let's get to it. Spoilers for this week's episode. Rhaenys, you dumb fucking cunt, you stupid bitch.
Yeah, that was very stupid. I knew she was gonna die the second she said, "I'll go."
You dumb broad. Literally.
Yeah,
what
you
I
could have
wrote
just
down.
left. I mean, it was I knew she was gonna die. I expected she was gonna die. I knew Aegon was somehow gonna get involved, but I didn't know he would instantly. I knew he wasn't just gonna take that sitting down. I knew at some point he'd have a conversation with Alicent, where Alicent basically tells him to sit down and be humble, and twiddle your thumbs.
Pull a Kendrick Lamar on him.
Yeah, exactly. But I didn't expect him to instantly up and go and be part of this exact fight. And it was interesting to see Aemond thinking on the spot. He sees Meleys absolutely fucking up Sunfire. I didn't expect Sunfire to be so big, considering Sunfire was supposedly born to Aegon. They didn't give him a Sunfire because Sunfire was so big and powerful. They give him Sunfire because Sunfire was so beautiful and golden.
And Aegon's a little bitch boy.
But Meleys was not even born to Rhaenys, who was in her 60s.
Yeah, no, Meleys
and
is
Sunfire is born to Aegon, who is, 19, and they're somehow like somewhat comparable in size. I didn't really get that. The show definitely changes a lot of things when it comes to dragon size. Like Moondancer, Baela's dragon was always said to be very, very fast, but incredibly small. Almost too small to be ridden. Moondancer's definitely small and definitely fast, but not definitely too small to be ridden. Certainly sizable compared to a human.
Kat, you know all about too small to be ridden. You know what I mean? Up top. Anywho, would you like to hear what I wrote down? I wrote down two things about this episode.
Yeah, tell me.
First one. This is why we don't drunk fly Aegon, you dumb cunt.
Yeah, that was really stupid.
And then I said, how the fuck do you let a B-52 Stratofortress stealth kill you, Rhaenys, you dumb cunt?
Yeah, I mean, what else can a dragon hide behind but a castle? You're like, where is the giant dragon that could definitely kill me at any moment? Oh, it's nowhere in my field of vision, and the only thing it could hide behind is this castle. Well, let me go over to the castle. Yeah, I don't know. It was very interesting to see Aemond thinking on his feet, where he decided, I'll just fucking burn both of them, then I get to be king. And the biggest dragon on their side, perhaps besides Caraxes, the Caraxes and Meleys are pretty similarly sized.
Mm-hmm.
It's also hard to measure with Caraxes because Caraxes is so irregularly proportioned.
Weird.
Great quote from Helena's actress. He's a noodle.
Does Helena have a dragon?
Yes, she has Dreamfire, which is the second oldest dragon currently being ridden. Dreamfire is around the age of Vermithorn's Silverwing, Jaehaerys and Queen Alysanne's dragons. We saw Daemon waking Vermithor. So Vermithorn's Silverwing, Vermithor's slightly bigger. They're sort of in between the size of Meleys and Vhagar. And Dreamfire is around as old as them. However, Dreamfire is a very small dragon for her age. Dreamfire is probably from what we've seen in the show so far, that was the dragon that scared a very young Aemond when he went into the dragon pits before he got Vhagar. From
How
what
did
it
Luke
seems,
take out his
it
eye
seems
again?
Dreamfire is only around as big as Craxes, possibly.
How did Luke take out his eye again?
With a knife.
Oh yeah.
Very notably, I don't remember exactly who. Luke did not bring the knife to the fight. I think that was Bela or Rhaena. And it was knocked out of their hands. And Luke picked it up off the dirt and slashed Aemond as he was choking Rhaena? I don't remember.
Maybe. I don't know. Fucking Aemond has always been a little incel. He really is. He really is just the biggest fucking incel.
I mean, I kind of get where he's coming from. In the last episode, we did see him literally say everything up to "I deserve to be king."
He doesn't. He's an incel. None of them deserve to be king. I was gonna say Rhaenys should
I think Kael,
deserves to be fucking queen.
You've uncovered the entire message of the books. Yet none of them deserve to be king. Monarchy is stupid.
Here's the real message. The real message is
the Thinkler over here.
The real message is George Fat Pirate Martin fucked up book 8 of Game of Thrones, or season 8, which is book, what is it, 7, 8, 9, 10? I don't fucking remember. Of Game of Thrones so bad that he doesn't want to release it until after he's dead because he can't take the fucking criticism. Which is why he's been waiting so fucking long. He's hoping the book will fucking outlive him. So that way
I don't think so.
He's not going to put it out before he dies. I'm telling you. You. The message is you what's the word? Subscribe to the theory that besides a lot of technical errors and like poor writing and stuff like that, you subscribe to the theory that a lot of the later story of Game of Thrones, the TV show, is much more similar to the later parts of the books that he was planning to write, that he would like to admit. It sort of used that as a test run to see just how much slop people would accept before realizing very little. I subscribe to the theory that George R.R. Martin is the Garth Ennis of fantasy, and that Game of Thrones is the comic is like the comic version of The Boys, but for Lord of the Rings.
The comic version of The Boys is a lot more terrible than Game of
that's
Thrones
what I'm
books.
saying. Yep, that's what I'm saying.
You think the Game of Thrones books are terrible compared to the show?
I think both the show and the books are just their main purpose is to shit on, the concept of like fantasy and like people being good, and their main purpose is cynicism. Their secondary purpose is being quality work of art. I'll say Game of Thrones the show and Game of Thrones the books are probably better than The Boys comics. But that's
I just don't think that's it. I think George R. R. Martin was a little. He's not exactly Garth Ennis-esque. I think he's a little like that.
I think he hates fantasy.
But he likes, and he's openly stated. He very clearly seems to get nerdy about, and really obviously likes traditional fantasy type stuff like Lord of the Rings.
Garth Ennis likes Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman.
Okay, but he just didn't want to do that for his story. I think I know that, and I think that's become clear because I think the later parts of Game of Thrones were D&D, Dumb and Dumber, misunderstanding exactly as you are what it was about Game of Thrones that made it good, and what it was about Game of Thrones or A Song of Ice and Fire that set it apart from fantasy. And they applied just that. They took what they thought made it different and distilled that down and released that as a product.
I'm gonna say this.
When that fucking wasn't, and it ended up being terrible. What's up?
I have no nostalgia for Game of Thrones. I didn't watch it when it came out. I'm watching Hot D right now. And I can tell you for a fact that this shit is just... from what I've seen of Game of Thrones is... We hate fantasy. We hate people being plainly good and plainly evil. Mostly plainly good. Because every time anyone does, like, a good action in Game of Thrones, they get immediately fucking punished. George R.R. Martin hates the Lord of the Rings. He hates what the Lord of the Rings stands for. Because J.R.R. Tolkien is, you know, a war hero, you know, influential, not a fat piece of shit, not lazy.
They were both inspired by, like, the political climate going on around them at the time. You look at, like, what wars were going on in the life of J.R.R. Tolkien and
I know. World War
Martin.
I, Vietnam. Yeah, I know. I'm aware. I watched the fucking epic rap battles of history. I know.
What?
J.R.R. You know, to quote epic rap battles of history, the sacred texts. J.R.R. Tolkien cut his teeth in the trenches of the Somme, while George larped his fat ass through Vietnam. He was a fucking conscientious objector, aka a bleeding heart vagina.
Well, he wouldn't have gotten accepted either way.
No, because he's fucking fat, and he sucks, and he's dumb, and I hate him.
You know, I don't think the army would have said, "Sorry, bro, you suck."
I want to fight George R.R. Martin.
Kael, I was trying to, like, explain something. I wasn't trying to, like, prove to you how smart I am. You don't need to interrupt me and go, "I know. Actually, I know that already."
I'm just saying, I know what you're talking about. I think everyone in the audience has watched that fucking epic rap battles of history.
I was not even...
But
I'm just saying... about the epic rap battles of history.
I know what they were influenced by. I know what they were fucking...
Okay, Kael. It sounds like Kael is having a little bit of a hissy fit about the fact that his favorite side is losing.
What do you mean my favorite side is losing? Fucking...
You're acting like everyone else. Every time... I knew this was gonna happen.
What do you mean everyone else?
Every fucking normie who watches the show, they say, "Oh, everyone must pick a side. Obviously good side, obviously bad side." And everyone's like, "I'm Team Black, I'm Team Black." And Kael's right there along with them, waving his Team Black flag.
No, I think Rhaenyra's a fucking idiot.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, let's go, Team Black." And then Rhaenys dies. Vhagar does Vhagar things, and Kael's like, "I'm done with this show." That's all I'll say.
Dumb. Rhaenys was the only person on this show. I will say this until the day I fucking die. Rhaenys should have been the fucking queen after Viserys fucking died, because Rhaenys is the only other competent person on this show. There are 3 competent people on the show. Viserys is dead. Otto Hightower, fucking Rhys Ifans must have had a fucking scheduling conflict, because he hasn't been in any episode since fucking episode 2.
I think it's just because that's how it's written in the book.
Yeah, but I don't know. Fucking, I miss him. I'm
sure they're gonna show us him in Highgarden whenever it becomes relevant.
Yeah, I don't know. This show needs him.
Yeah, his perfect streak of being in every episode is broken.
I know, it's so sad, because he's the best actor in the show now that fucking Paddy Considine's not in it no more.
I don't know. I think Emma Darcy is the best actress.
Not even close. And then Rhaenys was the 3rd competent person. And now, with this, they made her stupid. Like, if it was me, Vhagar is the easiest fucking dragon to kill. First of all, he's the fucking fattest. He's fat. Square cube law. Don't care. Fucking Vhagar.
This is so funny. Kael is out here being like... Kael is like, "Oh, Rhaenys, you're so stupid for trying to kill Vhagar." And then seconds later is like, "Vhagar is so easy to kill. I could have done it."
No, I'm saying she's stupid for getting stealth killed by a B-52 Stratofortress. It should be impossible to be stealth killed by something that fucking big. It should be utterly... There's a reason why fighters attack bombers and bombers have like fucking turrets all over them to protect from fighters. Because fighters can easily outmaneuver a bomber and take it down.
Clearly, Vagar is
easily.
a lot more stealthy than we believed. I mean, the entire plan from the beginning was to have Vagar in a stealth position to ambush.
That's okay. From the sky, I mean, he's green and like he kind of blends in with like a forest clearing. Maybe. Sure. Mommy Milker's dragon, Vagar.
You can pretty much tell whether or not a dragon is male or female, depending on who their first rider was. It's not 100%, but for the most part, if a dragon is born to you, they give you one that is the same sex as you are. The only times when you get incongruities is when it is a second or third or fourth or something like that rider. Like Vagar's first rider was Visenya, and then she had a bunch of mostly male riders wanting a big fucking powerful dragon.
And then she had Damon's wife, and then she fucking died. And now it's Aemon. Yes. But my point is, BBW Vagar should be the easiest dragon to take out because she is so fucking slow. And if you're familiar with the square cube law, first of all, they should not be able to fly, period. Should not be able to fly. Their wings are not long enough. For a human to fly, we would need a wingspan of 30 feet. That is it. The wings are not big enough for them to be able to fucking fly. And this isn't like
it's a little unclear how that's able to happen. A lot of dragon stuff comes up with different answers for how that's possible.
Probably fart gas, probably methane.
Yeah, a common thing is that there's some sort of lighter than air gas that fills a lot of their body that also helps explain how they're able to breathe fire. And that could be the case here. Obviously, there's not a lot of science to discover this going on. But also, additionally, dragons are pretty inherently tied to magic in this universe. So there could be some stuff going on there. It's theorized that the original creation of dragons in Old Valyria came about from the well-documented practice of Valyrian flesh warping, combining different creatures with magical power.
But again, she already got holes in her wings that are already not big enough. She can barely get off the ground, honestly.
Look, man, you got it. The show's stupid and illogical and dumb, and you're better than it. Is that what we're here to do?
I'm just saying, fucking Rhaenys was one of the smartest characters on this show, but she made a very stupid decision, and fucking...
She missed the thrill of battle, I suppose. I wonder if we're going to get more insight into why exactly she did what she did. Probably not now that she's dead. But it seems like they never just let any dumb things like that happen in the show. It seems like they usually don't let any stone go unturned. And if she were still alive, there could be an uncovering of what's going on. I mean, obviously that can still happen now that she's dead. But it seems like usually, I don't know how to describe it. Dumb things like this, logical missteps, whatever, blah blah blah. There's usually a reason behind them, unless they are buried with their perpetrator, like it seems to be the case with this one, Rhaenys.
I think this shit is fucking... It's an insult to my queen. Rhaenys, she would have been a good queen, honestly. If they had said,
okay.
You know what,
so
it's
I see
Rhaenys.
What's going on here.
You know
it's
what?
It's not because your favorite side is losing. It's because your favorite character died. That's why you're done with the show.
They made her dumb. And I do have other opinions. The black
I don't want to say the
I think you're allowed to do one wrong thing without being dumb.
I don't want to say the blacks are
It's pretty easy to say that sort of thing in a TV show when you know everyone is, being written and whatever, blah, 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 and mistakes can obviously happen. But, like, imagine in real life if, like, someone, like a genius such as yourself, were to make a single mistake, and then everyone around you was like, "Oh, stupid, Kael's smart. He would never do that. Oh, look at how terrible God is writing Kael these days. That would never happen." Like, yeah, but it just did in real life. Like, let's say it was just nothing but a stupid decision. Those happen. Smart people make those. And obviously that was the last dumb decision she'll ever make. So it's not like she made more than one.
I just think it's a bit of a waste, and it's uncharacteristically dumb of her. It's not a thing she would do.
I'm not overly familiar with Rhaenys' battle experience. It clearly seems like it had been a while, but I'd like to know, like, what experience does she have with, like, with Meleys in battle? Probably not much against other dragons.
Probably not much against fucking anything, because Viserys had 60 years
no
of
dragons other than Vhagar and the cannibal, but I don't think he'll be a part of this story. Have any experience battling with other dragons?
Most of them shouldn't have any experience, period. There were no wars. There was 80 years of no war.
Well, Vhagar not only is huge, but Vhagar has a lot of experience with war.
Vhagar, yes, but
maybe the
other two that are old, and maybe
Vermithor and Silverwing might. They were I actually don't know if Vermithor and Silverwing were born to Jaehaerys and Alysanne or not. If they were, then probably a lot of peace, considering how peaceful Jaehaerys' reign was.
Yeah. What I'm saying here is Rhaenys, great queen. One of the greatest L's we ever took was, we put Viserys on, and Viserys did a great job. He did a great job. But I feel like Kanye at the fucking VMAs talking about, I'm really happy for you, and I'm gonna let you finish. Fucking Rhaenys would have had one of the best fucking records of all time. Viserys is Taylor Swift, Rhaenys is Beyonce, and I, of course, am Kanye West because I'm virulently anti-Semitic. You thought I was gonna say because I'm black. I tricked you.
I honestly did not know where you're going at all with that.
Never let him expect your next move. Just like I didn't expect that move from Rhaenys, because what the fuck? Again, how?
Yeah, I didn't either. I thought she was going to get punished earlier. The second after Aemond said, like, "Oh, Dracarys," or whatever, and like there was like I thought she was already going to die, but there was like a moment of a uncharacteristic, like I didn't expect it. There was a moment of separation between Meleys and Vhagar, and and so I was like, "Oh, she's getting away with this unpunished." Like, that's strange. I didn't think that would happen, but like I guess she gets to get out of there, cut her losses. The castle is sieged because the blacks have no presence there anymore. But like she did her thing. She gets to go back and report. I was kind of faked out a little bit. But yeah, then she just made another stupid decision.
Without Rhaenys, there is no one smart on the black side. Without Otto, there's no one smart on the green side. But Aemond and Kristen have overwhelming force.
Smart means different things. There are people who are. There's no. In my opinion, there's no just one smart scale. I think intelligence is a collection of a lot of things. I think people are smart in different ways.
Kristen Cole is not smart in any way. Let us all agree. Kristen Cole is quite
smart
possibly.
in some ways.
He's not.
But he's definitely out of his depth. He's definitely been failing upward for a long time and is really not ready for the shit that's around him.
He's hot, and he got in, and he won one fight against Damon, and that's fucking it. And he has been failing upwards ever since.
Yeah,
he has
definitely a little bit of that.
I don't know. Fucking, I could take.
I mean, if
I
he
could take
was the
Chris
architect behind the plan to ambush Melis with Aemond, and he seems to be the architect behind this strategy that's actually working, really putting in the face, like, oh, the Blacks have no standing army on the mainland.
The Blacks have no standing army, period.
I mean, without like Aegon doing his dumb, stupid thing, like that probably would have gone all to plan, and that would have been really good. I think that's a smart military move for Kristen. I don't think he's all stupid.
I think Melis should have been able to take out Vhagar. Vhagar has no method to defend himself from the sides or rear, which is how a fighter would attack a bomber, and that is what Vhagar is. He's low, flying,
Is
slow.
Melis particularly fast? We don't really know that much about her.
She should be faster and more maneuverable than him. Even a heavy fighter should.
Well, maybe not faster, but more maneuverable.
You know, if she can get behind him or off to its side, and literally just one bite in those wings, and by the square cube law, because Vhagar is so much larger in surface area, by the square cube law, it is exponentially heavier than Melis. So if you take just a few more bites out of those wings, it's not going to be able to fly. It's going to crash on the ground, and it's going to splatter with even more force than fucking Sunfire did because it's so much heavier. It is going to...
Yeah, that was interesting. Is like obviously the big question at the end is like, okay, obviously Rhaenys is dead. Yep. She's an old woman. Obviously Melis is dead.
Who had Melis crash on top of her and explode.
Yeah. Obviously the question is Aegon dead?
No.
What's the deal with Aegon?
Dead. He's totally
dead. I don't think so. I think because otherwise, what other point is there for Kristen to be right there? Obviously, the point is that Kristen being there is stopping Aemond, with his presence from doing what Aemond wants to do, just like he did in the episode 9 of the last season when they capture Aegon, and Aegon is pleading with Aemond, please, give me a ship and I will be in Yee before you even know it, and you can rule in my stead. And so I think without that, I think Kristen once again is playing the role of, okay, Aemond, don't kill your brother, bestie. I'm here. You wouldn't kill him in front of me, right? That's not what you were planning. So I think because that happened, I think Aegon is alive, because otherwise, what's the point? But yeah, so that's obviously the big question at the end. But but another question that I'm thinking about is Dreamfire alive? Will Aegon be cut a level lower by his own stupidity and by his brother? He's already feeling emasculated and powerless in a lot of senses.
Can you ride?
Is he not just going to have a small dragon, but have no dragon at all? Will Aegon no longer be a dragon rider? Will he get a new dragon? The Greens don't really have access to any others.
Can you ride another dragon? Can you ride your wife's dragon? Is that like when your car goes into the shop or you crash it and you have to take your wife's fucking Prius?
Is Aegon going to commandeer Dreamfire?
He's going to fucking take his wife's Prius to work, bro.
I was going to say that seems smart because it's not like Helena seems very keen to use her quite big dragon. But also, maybe that isn't smart because we've seen exactly how Aegon deals with a dragon. I know Aegon's going to be upset that, if Sunfire is dead, he'll be very upset that he no longer has a dragon and he'll want another. But also, maybe in some sense, we can treat this like a drunk driver. You don't have your car anymore, But look at what you did last time you had a car, man.
That's true. That's true. Take man's license away.
Exactly.
Do not let
That's
this
what I'm
man
saying.
cook. Do not let this man cook. Get him out of the kitchen. Take the headsets away.
We saw you at the winery before hopping on Dragon. You were drinking and flying, weren't you?
Somebody
You done
had to
totaled your dragon.
Somebody had to pull up on this man and pull him over. Give this man a breathalyzer. Make him say the alphabet backwards. Do not let this man cook. He done fucked up. He done fucked up.
I mean he got drunk, got in his car, his little PT Cruiser, drove it right at an SUV, and then both of them got hit by a 16-wheeler. I mean, no one saw it coming. It was crazy.
It's like when
fire department had to come and save his ass.
It's like when you run out. It's like when Yoda ran out of ketamine in episode 3, and he drove,
of course,
his car, his 2003 Honda Civic, into that daycare, and he just, oh my god,
exactly.
It was really traumatizing.
How did he even get that? It said a long time ago. But by a long time ago, did they mean 2003?
Hey man, hey man, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Fuck you for reminding me that 2003 was 21 years ago, and I'm gonna be 22 this year. Fuck you.
Were you even born?
In 2002. I'm gonna be 22 this year. Fuck you. Fuck you.
You're old.
I am old. Fuck you.
You're not like us kids anymore. You're old. You're an old man.
I am. I wear Hawaiian shirts and golf shorts. I make noise when I sit down.
You have a stepson that you call Kimosabe.
When people when I go to like Applebee's and the waitress like asks like, oh, how was your food? I've cleaned the plate, and I'm like, oh, I hated it. It was terrible, And then when I get up to leave, I'm like, you guys ready to rock and roll? Yeah. I guess when I said that, I'm like, so you were still watching the episode. I had finished it, and I said, I'm basically done with this show at this point. Maybe I was over-exaggerating a little bit.
You're not done with the show? What if they show us Matt Smith's cock in the next episode?
100% back.
What will the point of this entire series be?
100%
if you leave
back.
right before it happens. I mean, this is literally like...
We forgot to mention that.
Did you know 90% of people watching for Matt Smith's cock give up the episode before he shows his cock?
You're not wrong. When she's right, she's right. Yeah. I was going to say, I'm going to keep watching for the point when Kristen Cole gets Kristen cucked. I want him to pull up.
True.
Watching Allison just rail.
Who will be the next? Who will be the next zaddy to pound out Allison Hightower?
Fucking the next man she sees. She's a whore.
So true.
Oh, I also said, my cousin.
When he's right, he's right.
My cousin was watching it with me, and she was like, bitching and pissing and moaning about having to take the fucking abortion thing, and I'm like, well, maybe if you weren't letting fucking Kristen Cole, the worst dude in the land, raw dog you immediately after he fucking kicked your dad out.
Allison, the pure widow of the king, 4 children to her name. Almost said 3. Sorry, Daron. The show's doing you dirty. Imagine she just turns up pregnant. What would the realm's reaction be?
Whore. That's what she is. She's a whore. I don't call her a whore. I don't think
so. I think you can't really claim the hoe card until, as long as you've only slept with 2 people.
It's not about how many she slept with. It's about the fact that she's sleeping with Kristen fucking Cole.
How long do you think that was going on? That's another question. Like, the shows only showed it recently, but was this happening in season 1?
I would rather fuck a quadruple amputee leper than Kristen Cole.
Insightful.
Look, sorry, quadruple amputee leper with a micro penis.
Another thing they mentioned that's actually got me thinking this episode, that leads me to think that this might have been going on in season 1 as well, is the fact that she mentioned it's only been like 2 weeks since he died. Like, it's been a whole year for us, you know, since the last season, so it feels like a while, but it hasn't been that long in Realm. Yeah, I don't remember, but like, it's been a long time for us. It's been a long time for us, but yeah, they mentioned in the show, she mentioned to Laris that, yeah, it's been only like 2 weeks since Viserys died.
I used to like Laris more.
Did she just start fucking Kristen 2 weeks after he died, or was this going on while he was bedridden?
No,
I think probably.
She was getting railed 6 ways to Sunday by Kristen. As soon as they started hanging out more after he got rejected by Rhaenyra, he was banging out.
And you know, if you're gonna call Alicent a whore, can you at least agree with me and call Kristen a man whore?
I wouldn't even call
he said that
whore.
exactly. He said, "Oh, I don't want to be your whore." Wah, boo hoo. And then Alicent comes up and is like, "Be my whore," and he's like, "Yes, ma'am. Anything for you. Glory to the People's Republic of China."
Hey, first of all, I am gonna say, redheads clear blondes any day of the week.
Olivia Cook ain't no redhead.
Fucking not naturally, but in the show
she has the slightest hint of red in that brown, let me tell you.
You need to get your fucking eyes checked. You need to get your eyes checked.
She is no redhead.
It's because they keep her inside all the time.
If she was a man, she might have a little bit of a red beard, but that's it.
It's because they keep her inside all the time, bro. If she went outside
and
it was the sun, yes, because I'm the same way.
You know, that kind of happened to me
inside.
That kind of happened to me a little bit recently. I thought it was so crazy. I'm like, growing up, I had freckles. Now I don't have freckles. What happened? That's so crazy. I guess I just lost my freckles. And then this summer, I went outside like twice, and now I have freckles again. And so, you know, things can change. So you might be right. She does spend a lot of time inside.
Yeah.
It was even mentioned that, like, yeah, the only time she leaves the fucking Red Keep is to go pray inside, not that far away.
No, I'm just saying,
right.
like,
you're right about that.
We don't see it in the sunlight. Like me, looking at me inside, I have brown hair everywhere. But when I go out in the sun, even my arm hair and my leg hair is red. When the light hits it, you know, I'm a closet redhead, and so is she. So
so you're not just talking about photo bleaching; you're talking about, like, literally just how it looks.
Yeah.
The light brings out the color. Okay,
she's a closet redhead, but she's absolutely redhead, and redheads clear blondes every day of the week, every single day of the week, all of them, without fail. But
all right, take it easy, Dan Harmon.
But my point is the insults I have for Kristen Cole are far worse than man whore. I don't care about that. Like, he has so many worse problems. He's dumb. He's sniveling fucking Weasley ass voice. He's only
dumb.
5'10". He's dumb. He's a little incel. He's dumb. He has no skills. He's dumb. He's got a small dick. He's dumb. Did I mention?
Do you think Kristen has a small dick?
Yes.
You think we're ever going to see it?
Maybe. I'm really mad. I want to see. Well, all right. We did see an erect wiener in episode 3. There was.
We did.
Probably that's simulated. That is 100% on a prosthetic.
Well, it might have been a prosthetic. Yeah, I was gonna say it might have been a prosthetic. The show has done that before.
Yeah,
or at least Game of Thrones did with Hodor.
Yeah, that's a prosthetic. But I'm pretty sure
Imagine that you're like a 7'1" actor hired to play this guy who's huge and massive and giant, and you're like, okay, I'm 7'1". I'm like 300 pounds. That makes sense. And there's a scene where you're going to be showing your dick, and they look at your dick, and they hand you a prosthetic like 4 times the size, and they say, hey, you probably wouldn't be comfortable showing your dick. Use this one.
It's dangerous.
Like,
Go alone. Take this.
They're just like, sorry, dude, your dick's too small. Use this one.
Fucking, here's what I have to say about Kristen Cole's small dick. I don't even think he has abs. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even think he has the V thing. I literally don't know what they see in him.
He doesn't have the cum gutters?
He does not have the cum gutters. He does not has the cum gutters. I think he's flat, no abs. He's got a happy trail.
I mean, to be fair, I don't have abs either.
You don't see me lining up to bang you either. So fucking way to prove my point. Kristen Cole is not hot. He is cringe. He gets
you
zero
don't have abs either. Shut up. And you bang your left hand every night.
Is that what you call your mom? My left hand? That's kind of weird, bro. It's fucking horses for courses, I guess. But you know, I call my mom. You know, we have weird nicknames, but
Kael, me and you, we've got some 1-packs, okay?
I mean, again, that's hotter than what fucking Kristen Cole has. Fucking
what do you suppose Kristen Cole has?
Nothing. Nothing. Indescript. Fucking happy trail. Like he isn't like the skinny twink body. He doesn't have like the fucking Timothy Chalamet. He doesn't have the Chris Hemsworth. He doesn't even have the Chris
What does he
Pratt.
have? A dad bod?
No, he doesn't have. He has nothing. He has a nothing. Yes.
He has a nothing.
Yes. Like fucking dad bods.
I feel like Kristen Cole has the daddy bod.
Nope. He is not daddy.
Like the dad bod, but with like a little more muscle.
No, he is 0% sauce. He has no sauce. He has no daddy energy. Okay, this man he could not be daddy if he tried.
You would not let him top you. I get it.
If you had a lighter to his pubes,
you would let Matt Smith top you.
If you had a lighter to, let me finish my point first.
He's not denying it, ladies and gentlemen.
I will deny it, but in due course. I have a larger point. If you had a lighter right next to fucking Kristen Cole's pubes, and you said, Kristen Cole, show me some fucking daddy energy, you know, and his job is to fucking like show off that daddy energy, or he's gonna get his pubes lit on fire, and that's not gonna do very good things to his pee-pee, you know. He still wouldn't be able to do it, and you'd have to light his dick and balls on fire, and you know,
you'd have to.
It wouldn't be a very long fire, is all I'm gonna say. Kristen Cole, like, I don't know about the actor. The actor, you know, he probably knows how to work with what he's got.
Fabian Frankel.
Yeah, Fabian, my man, you're doing a great job of making this unlikable piece of shit character an unlikable piece of shit character. Great job. I'm sure you're fine, but Kristen Cole, small cock, sub 2 inches, and does not know how to use it. Does not know how to use it. Stroke game, weak. Tongue game, weak.
How can you... What can you even do with that? Sub 2?
Fucking... When Alicent was, like, riding on top of him, she's, like, on his thigh. Like, she is so far away from his dick. Because, like, fucking what can you do with it? Nothing. Kristen Cole has no sauce, no daddy energy, nothing. He is nothing. He is sub nothing. He is less than nothing. He has a mangina. Okay? Fucking the man has no anything. And no, I would not let Matt Smith top me. He just doesn't have top energy. He's too dorky.
He doesn't?
He's too dorky. Matt Smith, the actor, no sexual energy whatsoever. Damon just gives me the ick. Damon is not hot. Matt Smith has aged a little bit in the time between. Either they gave him some makeup or he's aged a little bit. Like, the last 2 years in between filming was pretty hard on it.
He's not aging well?
It's because he did Morbius in there. That's why.
That's probably right.
He did Morbius.
You know, honestly, I don't even think that really affected him.
No, he
because
morbed out too.
I remember him learning in real time that everyone hates Morbius.
No.
And he was just like, oh, they do? Oh, that's too bad.
No. It wasn't Morbius as in, like, the fan response. it was having to film with fucking Jared Leto, and Jared Leto harvesting his fucking adrenochrome because
You know,
Jared
that might have
Leto.
been it.
I think Jared Leto is older than Matt Smith.
Oh my god.
I don't believe in the fucking Pizzagate adrenochrome bullshit.
Jared Leto's he's just a vampire.
No. Because vampires are cool. Don't talk shit about vampires. Do not insult. That's a bigger insult to vampires.
You can have
than
shitty
fucking Twilight
vampires.
was. That's a bigger insult to vampires than fucking Twilight was. So you take that shit back. Vampires are fucking cool. Okay? I won't have this slander. Vampires are the coolest fucking fantasy monsters. But anywho, we didn't see Matt Smith's penis. I'm losing hope. I mean, we saw Aemond's penis, right? And Aemond is just one letter rearranged into Damon. So
yeah, 2 letters. But really, what's the difference between Damon and Aemond?
Nothing.
We literally saw Damon.
Dream. Yeah,
in that dream.
Kael,
whoa, getting a little bit into the lore here. Take it easy, man.
And the actual
mentioning the show we're talking about. What the hell?
No, the secret is actually that Damon fucked Allison. That's the secret. That's the sauce there. He is his real father. I'm full disclosure, I did read the Wikipedia plot synopsis of the book that this is based on. I don't remember that being in there. So that is something that I did just make up on the spot. But I wouldn't mind that plot twist. That'd be cool. I'd be down.
You read the Wikipedia plot synopsis of what is a Wikipedia plot synopsis of a book?
Yeah.
Okay.
I bought I just bought the sequel to Name of the Wind and the 2 spin-off novels. That's another author who needs to fucking shit or get off the pot and finish his fucking last book. Asshole.
That's a funny way of putting it.
Patrick, get your fucking dick out of your hand and put the pen in it and start writing your shit down. Let's go. Come on. But yeah, anywho. Do you want to do the big red button? I didn't do it to Maxwell because Maxwell was being a Debbie Downer.
I have to come up with one right now?
No, I have one. I asked Danny already.
Oh, tell me.
Okay. You only have to go number 2 once a week. Oh, wait, why am I asking you this? You're a woman. Doesn't apply. All right, cool. Let's end it.
What? No, tell me.
Women don't go number 2. What? This doesn't apply to you. This doesn't apply to you. All right.
It's true.
I want to thank our patrons, Justin Connor. Really appreciate you, Justin. We're coming up on 2 full years of your support. We really appreciate that. You keeping the lights on, keeping us going, keeping us talking for 50 minutes about fucking whether or not we saw Matt Smith's cock. Hey, we're really out here. We're really talking about the hard-hitting topics that
we love. Dragon Show.
The people care about. No, we love Matt Smith's cock. That's what I'm here for. I want to see how they kill Kristen Cole, and I want to see Matt Smith's penis. Okay, if they do that in the next episode, I'm done. They could end it. But yeah, that's you're really helping us with that. If you want a cool shout out like that, head on over to patreon.com/IIHS podcast, where you could have listened to part 1 of this episode a while back. And if you join the $5 tier, you could have listened to this whole part, the whole episode, early and ad free. So on Sunday night, when this is recorded, right after fucking Hot D, you could have heard this and you could have been like, wow, hey, yeah, you could have been listening to this already. So definitely don't make that same mistake again. Join that $5 tier, early, ad free. And you also can hear all of our movie commentaries, including the one me, you, and Danny did, robots. That was cool. Robots, Aunt Fanny. Whoo-wee, you know what I mean?
When are they going to make Robots Part 2? I want to know.
You're right.
The culture needs it.
The culture really does need it. You're right. They could have a Donald Trump robot. That would be cool. Donald Trump robot.
Nobody has ever made a more cognizant commentary about Donald Trump than by calling him a robot. That would have been perfect.
Exactly.
Not enough people are talking about Trump. I gotta say it. We need more.
There should be a Donald Trump character on Hot D.
Just put him everywhere.
Exactly. Get Shane Gillis in the Trump makeup and put him on Hot D. Rhaenyra is the biggest liar. We gotta check her emails. It's okay. But yeah, fucking, Robots movie commentary. You could be listening to that right now. You could be watching Robots with me and Kateryna and Danny. All the time. You could be doing that. It's just like
Is this show too masculine for you? Get some feminine energy along with your Kael with me and Danny.
Was Robots too masculine for you? We're talking about Robots. We haven't done an audio commentary of this. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll rewatch season 1 and season 2, and we'll force Danny there too, because Danny does whatever Kateryna says. Because Danny's kind of her bitch.
It's true. I'm his dominatrix.
He doesn't listen to the show, so he won't know that we said that. He literally doesn't listen to parts that he's not in. But anywho, yeah, $5 tier, patreon.com/IIHS podcast. There's even a free trial, so go check it out. Social media, we are at IIHS podcast. I'm not moving back to Twitter. It's just the podcast account. My private anonymous account got fucking banned for no reason because I told someone to eat my entire cock and balls. Because they were wrong.
If you can't tell someone to eat your entire cock and balls on Twitter, what can you do?
Nothing, because I criticize Elon Musk. And this is all the more reason why I should be fucking breaking my Twitter addiction, but I won't. Because I'm helpless. So don't follow the IIHS podcast Twitter account, and don't use Twitter. Do as I say, not as I do. But we are at IIHS podcast on Instagram, Threads, YouTube. Yeah, go check it out. But I have nothing else to add. I'm incredibly influential. You're not highly successful. You're not highly successful.
You stumble over your words, bitch.
Because you were talking,
Idiot.
and I wanted to make sure. I wanted to make sure that you didn't get any fucking ideas about thinking that you're highly successple.
The people know.
Because women
people understand.
Women can't be highly anything because they're short. The end.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Highly, incredibly influential, highly successful. Goodbye. Love you. Goodbye.